Hello. We're going to have a little bit of camera chat today because I wanted to talk about some new things. And for all of you who follow me for the ballet videos and stuff, I am trying to make more. My situation here with my floor is just really hard. I'm getting married in 49 days, and then at some point we will be putting a hard floor into our bonus room in our house. I don't know when that will be though, because that's obviously an expense we just can't do right now. I am not planning to go back to studio dancing at all. It's not a plan. So everybody keeps saying, can't wait to see you back in the studios. I'm not going back. There aren't any near me. The one I had that I was at for a long time, I had a really bad experience with, and I will never go back there. And the other one is downtown, which is a really far drive for me. And honestly, I just don't need to be spending the money on that. I have student loans that need to be paid off, and that's gonna take me a really long time. So the plan is not to go back to ballet. As like a full-time like dancing student. It's more, I will just keep doing the stuff I've done online and do my own classes, and that's what I will keep doing. But anyway, back to the camera gear. So I like taking macro photos, but I especially wanted something where I could take like close-up photos for like wedding stuff, like details like my ring and things like that, because I practice a lot with mine. I don't have a macro lens. For a long time I've been using my Olympus lens because it's the 75mm f1.8, which when you use micro four thirds, which is what Olympus uses, you double the focal length, and that gives you the 35mm equivalent. So this kind of gets a really like compressed, zoomed in view, and I could get closer on this than I could with my Canon lenses, because I have for Canon, I have a 50, a 35, and an 85, which I love. I don't have the L lenses. I wish I had just the L50 lens. That's all I want, but I can't afford that. So anyway, I finally recently bought a macro lens, an inexpensive one. I tried a manual macro lens last year and I hated it. I don't like using manual. I like being able to have the autofocus, even if it's not the best like autofocus, like even if it's not fast. When you're doing detail shots and stuff, the speed isn't as much important, but I like doing that because I feel like whenever I use the manual ones, it wasn't accurate, and then I'm trying to hold something like lights or something and trying to focus, and I'm like, no, I need the autofocus. So everybody who's gonna try and tell me that I need to use manual focus for macro, no, I already decided this. But anyway, so I got one this week for my Canon, because the other issue is, okay, if I'm doing weddings and stuff, which I've only done a couple so far, but if I keep doing them and I have to take my 5D4 with its lenses and my RP as the backup with its lenses, I don't want to also have to take a third camera with my Olympus lens, which would either be the Pen F, or actually most likely I would take the EM1 Mark II, because it's a faster processing camera. But yeah, so putting that aside, I love that camera, I really do, but I got this. This is the Sigma 105mm f2.8 DG Macro EX lens. It's an older lens. While I said like it is autofocus, I have tested it in the last day since I got it, and it is a slow autofocus and it is a very loud autofocus. But for my purposes, it works. And I did figure out, in case anybody else is wondering, because this happened on my Olympus camera too, where I thought I got a bad lens that the autofocus didn't work. You have to push this in to use manual and pull it out to use autofocus, as well as touching or flipping the switch, and didn't realize that. The other thing that's nice about this that I haven't played around with much is it has this switch on here, which says full and limit. And basically what that's going to do is limit the space that you're trying to focus on, so that it's not trying to hunt through the whole frame, but just a small area, which I found really helpful when you're taking like small detail shots. Like yesterday I just practiced on my ring a lot, and that's usually what I do. Because I'm just trying to get better at that, so that when I actually do clients' photos, I can get a better shot and I'm not having to like practice with theirs. So anyway, it's been interesting. Like I said, it is very loud. I also found it really doesn't work well on the RP. It works really well on the 5D4, but I probably won't ever use it on my RP. So I just use it on this, but let's see here. So if you'll be able to hear it in a second here. No, it's not doing as bad right now, but it's really not doing that much right now. But it's probably because I'm not focusing on anything too close. I'm just trying to get it to make noises, but basically it is a very loud focusing lens. So you can hear it. But again, that's not important to me. Like, I'm not using it during the ceremonies and things. That's when I would use, like, mostly I use my 50 and my 85 for everything. I will use the 35 occasionally, but that's more when I really need a wide shot, like a venue shot or something big. But you're not, like, if I'm doing that, I can do that more during the ceremony, like switch that lens out when I'm done getting all the main points and we're just in the middle of the ceremony kind of thing. But mostly I use the 50, I use the 85. That's my standard for doing weddings, and I will take the 35 with me, but I usually have one on each, this and my RP. I did recently get, I don't know if I've talked about it in a video, I did recently get, instead of my 50 f1.8, which I never felt was great, I got the 50 f1.4, and that has not left my camera really since then. Like, honestly, pretty much all the photos I take of Brad and I, where I use my tripod, everything, I just use the 50, because that 1.4 really did make a difference for me in my photos. So like right now, I have my bag all packed to do some stuff later tonight, but I just have it on my RP with the adapter, and it's still not very big. Like, I mean, comparatively, it's not that bad. This lens is actually not as bad as I thought it would be. It's really not that heavy, this macro lens. It's got a weird, like, feel to it. I don't even know. Like, it looks like it would be velvet, but it's not, obviously. I don't know, it's weird. But it's not a heavy lens. It's not too bulky. I get annoyed sometimes when the lens doesn't always collapse on its own, like when I'm turning the camera off or anything. But it's a good lens for what I need it for. I do not want to set that on my trackpad. But then, yeah, this 50mm lens I have used probably the most now. The other thing I've discovered lately that I'm really enjoying is, like, I try to take videos of Brad and I when we do things, like, because I have a really bad memory. It's part of the reason I got into photography and videography stuff, and well, not really videography, but the reason I love photos and videos so much in the first place is because, and I've always been this way with home videos and photos, I have a really bad memory. My mom and my brother do too. It's a family thing, but I have a hard time remembering things unless I see photos or videos of them. And so it's really important to me to even remember just these little things that otherwise my brain would not remember we even did that. I used to try every time Brad and I did a date, like, to take a photo, but now we see each other every day, even though we're not married yet. So it's like, well, I don't need to take a photo every day. But we've decided when we get married, we are going to have a set date night once a week, every week, probably Tuesday nights, because that's like the easiest night. That, like, no matter what's happening, unless something like an emergency happens or something, like, that is our date night. Like, family can't intervene, nothing, like, nothing else trumps that. That is going to be our night to go out and do our things, because I feel like it's very important for us to keep dating each other and everything. So when we do those, my plan is to take a photo every week and try and do unique ones and different things, which I did get from my friend who does that, who's a photographer. But, like, I already wanted to do that anyway, and every person we've talked about has said it's so important to do a date night every week. I just want to add in the, like, we take photos. I got off on a tangent, but my whole point is I have loved using this for video, which is funny because most people said the RP is not a great camera for video, and maybe they mean for, like, long-term video because the battery life and stuff, but I'm not really doing that. I'm not a videographer. That's not what I want it for. I really just want it for photos. However, if we've, say, taken our photos at a spot where we're taking them, and then I just decide, you know, let me just turn on the video for a minute and just do a couple, like, cute things, like him twirl me or just different things, the quality is so good. It's so much better than setting up my iPhone. And, like, I knew that, but, like, I've never really used cameras for videos before. I've always used them for photos. So, like, even this I'm filming on my iPhone just because, honestly, it's easier to upload to YouTube this way. And my little G7X, I'm trying not to use it too much because I want to save it to use for, like, trips and stuff. Like, that's what I used to film all my YouTube videos on, but now when we go on our honeymoon to Disney in November, I would like to take that with my little tripod, my little handheld tripod, take that to do, like, basically make home videos out of our trip so that I, again, can remember things. Because, like, I'm remembering, like, my parents took video cameras everywhere when we went on trips. Why is it different now? And not only is my phone, like, storage and stuff not great, but also, like, the phone can get some videos, but it's not as great as, like, if you have, like, a camera where you can actually, like, I don't know, I just think that'd be great. So I'm gonna do that. Also probably taking this camera with the 85 and the 35 on our honeymoon. That's probably what I'm gonna do. And I may, like, each day in the parks only take, like, this with the 50 with me just so that I don't have too much. Because in the past, I know I've taken a lot of cameras. I think my last trip to Disney, I took my 5D4, my other Olympus, and my G7X, and I did not need all that. And this one honestly got the best photos. So now that I have another full frame that's smaller, which was the whole point, it's also my backup camera, but it is also a much better travel camera. I really want to use this because I just love the full frame quality of photos. It's hard because I love my Olympus cameras so much, and I've sold a couple of them now, but I still have my EM10 Mark II is back here, which I really don't use much, but I love it. I have my Pen F, and I have the EM1 Mark II, and that's all I have left. I sold my EM5 and Mark II, and I sold my EPL9. So that's all I have left of those now, but like I still love them, and I love the like small vintage look, especially this one. It just looks so cool. And like I've said before, this one gets the most amazing black and white photos. Like I cannot replicate the tones that this uses to take black and white photos in like Lightroom or anything. It just is great. I just right now, because we're so limited on times we actually get to take photos and do photography, I usually go for the one that I know is gonna give me really good photos of us. But my plan is in the future, when we're married and things have settled down, I'm gonna try and do like photography challenges, like try and only use this camera for a month, only do 50mm lens photography, only do, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm hoping to be able to up my photography business more after we're married too, because it's kind of like petered off right now, which is a little frustrating because I was getting so many shoots and then now it's not much. I was also getting a lot more people asking me to do family photo shoots, which is not what I want to do, and I don't want to become a family photographer. It's just, it zaps me of my creativity and my enjoyment of photography. I'd rather do couples, like even like maternity shots are fine too. And if it's a family with one child, I didn't mind that the few times I've done that, because usually that's very easy to control. It's just when there's more, I lose all creativity, and like big group photos, that's just not my thing. But I love to even do senior photos or more dance photos. But again, not being at that studio anymore, and that studio, pretty much all the girls there use the main photographer for Cincinnati Ballet too. So like nobody was coming to me anyway. So it's kind of like, okay, I would love to get more photography stuff done, and I would love to be able to do dance photography. I would love to. It's just been hard because people already have people they use. I am going to do some free photo shoots this weekend, which I will try and get some behind the scenes footage to share. One is, I've been trying to get, so I have 2 extra wedding dresses that are not mine, because I want to do bridal photography, like more like portrait photography or styled shoots for like bridal boutiques and things like that. Even if it's just coming in to photograph their dresses, I would love to do that, but I don't know how to get into it. So I have a few bridal photos from like weddings I've helped with or done, but that's not much. So I thought, okay, if I have these cheap dresses, I can have people model them for me, and then I will get these great photos from it. So I have 2. I've modeled them myself, some just in photos, like if you'll see them on my TikTok or my Instagram page, because for a while I was like, okay, well, I can't get anybody to model these for me because my sister's been so busy and I just haven't had anybody else. But I've now had, my sister has said that she will model for me this Sunday, so we're gonna do some. And then another friend of mine said, like, I don't know how to model, but I'll do it for you if you need someone. I'm like, yep, we're doing it, okay? So I'm hoping to get some more of those done, and those are gonna be more just like styled kind of like shoots and stuff this weekend. And I'm gonna try and get behind the scenes footage. It may be vertical footage because it's hard for me. I'm gonna have Brad with me, well, for one of them, and it's hard for me to be like, okay, film this in vertical, also film it in sideways. The one on Monday where I'm doing my friend Amy, it'll just be me and her, so I may have to try and set up my phone on a tripod or something to get some. I'm not even sure how to get behind the scenes footage of that, so we will see. But yeah, this is just an update on everything. Mostly I was going to talk about my macro lens, but this is just kind of an update because I haven't done that in a while. I haven't done much ballet lately, and I feel really bad that I haven't. I have been doing my mini trampoline workout. Literally have a tiny trampoline on the other side of this tripod right now in my living room. I just come out and I jump for like a half an hour or so while I'm watching TV or while I'm listening to music. And that's been helping me lose weight better than anything else right now. So I have 49 days to keep losing weight, and I'm getting a little less motivated. But we will see. Anyway, that is my update for now. But let me know below what kind of videos you want to see from me. I'd love to start doing more again, especially as I have more time after the wedding. But I just like, I think lately I've kind of just been in a creativity rut where I'm kind of like, if I make videos similar to ones I've done before, I'm not really getting any engagement from people. So I'd rather know what people would like to see, and I can work on that more. But yeah, that's my update.